India's constitution wasn't created overnight. It evolved over centuries shaped by British rule. From the Regulating Act of 1773 to the Charter Act of 1853, several British laws laid the foundation for modern governance in India. In this session, we'll break down these key legislations and their impact using a mind map. Let's begin. The British Parliament's first attempt to regulate the East India Company came through the Regulating Act of 1773. This law set the stage for British administration in India. Here are the key legislations. The Governor of Bengal became Governor General of Bengal. First one was Lord Warren Hastings. There was an executive council of 4 members to assist the Governor General. Bombay and Madras now became subordinate to Bengal. There was a Supreme Court at Calcutta which was formed in 1774. Company officers were now banned from private trade and bribery. Court of Directors were required to report to the British government. While the Regulating Act of 1773 was a start, it had many flaws. The British corrected them with the Pitt's India Act of 1784, which introduced the concept of dual government. Here are the key features of the Pitt's India Act. This act separated the commercial and political functions. The Court of Directors managed the trade and commerce, while the Board of Control managed political and administrative affairs. Hence the dual government. The British government now gained supreme control over companies' administration. And for the first time, companies' territories were called British possessions in India. After that, the centralization and legislative developments took place during the years of 1833 and 1853. The Charter Act of 1833 was the final step towards centralization. By 1833, the British had consolidated their power. This act marked the end of East India Company as a commercial entity and completed the process of centralization. Following are the features of Charter Act of the 1833. The Governor General of Bengal now became the Governor General of India. The first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Legislative powers were now completely centralized. Madras and Bombay had lost their legislative powers. The East India Company became a purely administrative body as their commercial activities were ended. This act attempted for open competition for civil services, but it was blocked by the opposition. The Charter Act of 1853 was the last Charter Act before the British Crown formally took control in 1858. It introduced key reforms that shaped modern governance. Here are its key legislatives. This act separated legislative and executive functions of Governor General's Council. It established the Central Legislative Council. It also introduced open competition for civil services via the Macaulay Committee. For the first time, local representation in the Legislative Council was established. These British era laws shaped India's administrative structure, centralization of power, and civil services, all of which were later integrated into our constitution. If you want to revise this mind map, you can download it from our Telegram channel. Link is in the description. Thank you.